Welcome one and all to beautiful Jack F. Rhodes Memorial Stadium in Katy, Texas for this THSLL state final matchup between a pair of North District foes who are not strangers to the stage nor the competition. It's the Jesuit Rangers and the ESD Eagles fighting for a spot in Texas high school lacrosse history right here on Game On Sports. I'm Kyle Yeomans alongside Zach Wolchuk bringing you this state championship matchup between two not only foes, but rivals in the sport of lacrosse in the state of Texas. Both of them have met this season. ESD won the first matchup 7-5, very tight, back just 16 days ago. Zach, what are you expecting from the state championship matchup tonight?
I think it's going to be very low scoring. You've got two incredible goaltenders, especially Luke Milliken, arguably the best goaltender in the state. All-state 15 stops yesterday against Highland Park, tying a career high for him. He is sensational. And Prescott King on the other side for ESD, all-district goaltender for him. Goals are going to be few and far between. These attackers and middies are going to have to be at their best today if they want it in the back of the net.
Both of these teams getting through their tough semifinal matchups. Like you just mentioned, Jesuit defeating Highland Park yesterday afternoon 8-4, a tight game at halftime, tied at 3. Jesuit took off in the second half, scored 7 out of the last 8 goals, I should say, after they were down 3-1 in order to win that game 7-4. What do you expect to see tonight from Jesuit in terms of getting back on the board? They haven't put up a lot of goals this season, but a chance tonight to do something special.
Well, the big difference coming into the second half for Jesuit was inside the X. Whether it was Tabor or Will Pyatt, they did a much better job of winning their faceoffs. And then Jack Tabor just took off with 3 goals and an assist, tying a career high for him as well. A sensational outing for the Rangers, and that really propelled them over the Scots yesterday afternoon. For ESD, similar story. That one was tied against the Woodlands. They came out in the second half, really pulled away. So two teams that seem to make necessary halftime adjustments and play their best lacrosse in quarters 3 and 4.
ESD on the other side, the pursuit of perfection continues. 15-0 on the season. 9-0 was their final mark in district play, winning the North District, who was well represented here in the Texas High School Lacrosse League State Championship weekend. 7 out of the 8 teams, D1 and D2, were from the North District, well represented, and ESD came on top of all of them.
Both state championships, Rockwall and Green Hill just finished playing D2. Rockwall taking home that state title. And then here, ESD and Jesuit, two teams that are very familiar, like you said, Kyle, into this Final Four, and a rematch of the 2014 state title game between these two teams, which ESD won 9-4 last year. Jesuit got the best of ESD in the state semifinal, winning that one 8-7.
So ESD winning the first faceoff will be on the attack first. A beautiful afternoon here in Katy, 85 degrees. Here's a shot and a quick score. Patrick Skalinak for the Eagles gets going, and Coach Kennedy has to be happy with the quick, aggressive attacking from his Eagles thus far.
Skalinak, the Navy All-State player, he is lethal. When you compare Patrick Skalinak along with Nakai Montgomery, 13 in gray, the midi that's going to Duke, that is an absolutely nasty tandem on the offensive end for ESD, something Jesuit's going to have to account for all afternoon.
Jesuits scored first in the matchup yesterday against Highland Park. Now they find themselves trailing. They did trail in that game yesterday afternoon. Like we talked about, they were down by 2 goals, 3-1 in the middle of the second quarter. And the official on the far side lost his footing. Good to see him get back
Man
up
down.
And continue on. Here's another attacking chance. Milliken was there, but the shot coming from Tran goes just a bit wide.
Interesting shot there. Kind of tried to whip it low, waist level, trying to reach around. That's a challenge that Jesuit imposes on these offenses going up against them. They've got great size on the defensive unit. When you pair Aiden Johnson alongside Grayson Macaro, 2 twin towers there along the defensive side.
This Jesuit team, not one that is used to giving up double-digit goals all year long, and then ESD on the other side, a team used to scoring double-digit goals on good defenses. They put up 11 yesterday against the Woodlands in the semifinal matchup. Here's Roan slowing things down, working near hash, going to the far side of the field now as he'll dump it back off. Tran back across to Kolpak. And finding Roan again. Here's Roan working near hash. Met quickly by the Jesuit defense, has his shooting lane cut off. There's an open move from ESD, finding a lot of space to work with outside the crease, and Brandon Moe, the junior attacker, puts it home.
Brandon Moe, another one of those D1 commits. He's going to Villanova, an all-state player, and you can see the speed from ESD. It causes problems. Jesuits defense did a good job of switching initially, but then Moe slipping underneath and allowing himself an opening to put it home for the goal. 2-0 ESD early. But like we mentioned, Kyle, Jesuit got down by 2 late in the first half to Highland Park. They turned it on in a hurry and were able to tie that up going into the half.
A violation called there against Will Pyatt, the Fogo for Jesuit. And he'll give it back to ESD. There was a lot of space to work with on the far side. ESD got going pretty quick. Roe Baker. And a nice look at things. Actually, I take that back. That's Sean Tran again. So ESD on the far sideline. Still working the perimeter. Jesuit has yet to have an attack on their end, and there's a turnover.
Yeah, that's exactly what Jesuit needed. This first 2.5 minutes offensively controlled by ESD.
And ESD able to shove Macaro out on that inline to force the turnover and get the ball back. And like you said, if Jesuit is going to stay in this game, you can't allow ESD to dominate the possession like they have so far. Jesuit has to get a turnover here, very crucial. You don't want to go down by 3 against a team that has yet to lose a game this year. Even though Jesuit seems to light up at the fact of them being at a deficit. Play better with a deficit faced with them. Here's Jesuit on defense again. Another nice move by Tran. That time tried to sneak it under the crossbar, couldn't do so, and it'll go out of bounds on the far sideline.
Ball staying with ESD there. Pretty good hustle from Jack Loftus to get over there.
So another attacking chance inside the crease is going to be picked up by Aiden Johnston, who had a huge game against Highland Park yesterday afternoon in a turnover, as ESD continues to put pressure on the Jesuit defenders and not allowing them to get past midfield.
Well, Johnson was phenomenal in the semifinals last weekend. Did a really good job against Austin Westlake, and he's pretty clean typically on those ground balls from what we've been able to see when we've seen Jesuit play this year. ESD able to get a whack on that stick and poke it loose.
There's a long windup and a goal again. Michael Gopak, the sophomore, snuck that one inside the near post. Milliken, who, like you talked about, had 15 saves yesterday, tying a career high, having a rough start in the first 4 minutes of this one. Actually, to be exact, 3 minutes and 42 seconds into this one, and he's already given up 3 goals.
Yeah, that's when Luke Milliken typically saves. That one was coming at him. He was able to have a clean look at it. Just a tick late. Ball had a little curve on it. I think it might have snuck underneath the arm there between the side. Wicked shot from ESD. They're in control here early on, 3-0. Still a lot of lacrosse to play, though, for Jesuit.
A lot of time left indeed. Jesuit is still yet to have an attack on their side of the field. And it's very crucial that Will Pyatt gets into that face-off X and has the same kind of success that he did in the second half against a Harvard commit, and Kyle Massimilian for Highland Park was able to make some adjustments from the first half of action and really dominate in the face-off X yesterday, starting at the end of the second quarter. And from then on, that's where Jesuit really took charge after being down early in that game.
Certainly, and the game of lacrosse, it's predicated out of the X. You've got to make sure you set that offensive attack up. Jesuit, like you said, unable to do that yet. But Will Pyatt, he characteristically starts a little bit slow inside the X, like we saw yesterday against Kyle Massimilian. But Jesuit really took off and took control. As soon as he was able to figure out Massimilian inside the X, Jesuit went on a run in that second half. Will Pyatt down 3 early on. He doesn't have that same kind of courtesy to be able to, with that slow start. He's got to shake out of that now early, and this is big.
The difference between the face-off X today and yesterday, in the first half yesterday, Massimilian dominated Pyatt in the first quarter and a half. Today, Pyatt's been very close, very competitive at the face-off X. He just hasn't gotten the ball to roll his direction. You just got to catch a break, and it looks like he may have one here. Loses his footing. The ball's still on the turf. It's going to bounce around. Looks to be in the net of ESD, and it is another win for the Eagles on the face-off X as they will attack and slow things down.
Now, I don't think that one's on Will Pyatt. I think he did his job there. The Wings came over to try and field that ground ball. ESD was just able to pick it up.
Yeah, Pyatt got the initial push off of the face-off win. Just like you said, the Wings couldn't come over and field the ground ball.
And you got some good ones. David Sprott coming in there, who had a very good game. He's really had a great postseason. Helped set up Tabor on a couple of those goals yesterday.
There's the Duke commit, Montgomery dumping it back off once he got to the goal line extended. Here's Kolpak giving it in the middle, and a big hit by the Jesuit defender. McCarroll coming across and laying a huge hit and a big hit on the near side as Dixon Smith, the Jacksonville commit, got caught up with an ESD attacker.
Hank Clements with the big hit for Jesuit earlier on the first one. You can see the Rangers ramping up the physicality here.
That's what you want to see from a defense, is that stick lost in the middle of the slot. It's going to be picked up quickly by Clements. Clements, who laid the hit earlier trying to get past midfield, and he does. That's the first time that Jesuit has had any kind of success getting into their attacking end, and now they got to convert with Burnham working on the end line.
Now you'll see the patience from the Jesuit Ranger attack. They're going to slow it up, let everybody get set, and then watch the rush.
We talked about it yesterday during the Jesuit Highland Park matchup. This Rangers attack loves to lull you to sleep, and then while you're falling asleep, dozing off, whatever you want to call it, they strike very quickly, and they strike very hard too, very aggressive, running toward the crease.
And there's an uncharacteristic turnover there, ball popping right out of the net. I believe that was Grayson Hassel.
You can't leave Montgomery open in the slot like that one. The Duke commit puts it home, and the senior makes it 4-0 ESD.
That's a lethal counter. That's tough to stop. Patrick Skalniak and then Nakai Montgomery, 13 in gray. That kid's a special player, and an uncharacteristic turnover from Hassel. Ball pops out. ESD picks up the ground ball on the counter. They waste no time going up 4.
These two teams met in the regular season just 16 days ago, where ESD pulled out a close one. 7-5 was the final. That one being played at ESD on the road for Jesuit. This one picked up initially right on the midfield line, and then ESD's going to control it, but they're going to have to backtrack themselves into the defensive area.
Got our first flag of the afternoon.
And so the advantage is going to be played with the Eagles. This long clearance is going to end that advantage. It'll be picked up by McCarroll, and the whistles will blow as I believe it's going to be Peter Buell making his way to the far sideline and take a knee in the penalty box. So Jesuit down a man, down by 4. A crucial moment here in the first quarter of this one, trying to stay in it against ESD.
Yeah, this is going to be a big defensive stop for Jesuit, to say the least. You got Matthew Pretty in there, Aiden Johnson, Sean Tran. Excuse me, that's Dixon Smith, the all-district player.
And Johnston in there. Had a big game yesterday. We talked about it. Sometimes he looks like he may be the best player on the field at times for Jesuit.
Yeah, he's a sensational defenseman.
So ESD setting up the attack, taking their time. Still plenty of time left in the penalty kill for Jesuit. Had limited success standing up defensively against Highland Park last night. Gave up 2 goals in 3 power plays. That's half of Highland Park's scoring output yesterday, and it came with a man down on Jesuit's side. That's a testament to the defense.
Right now they're doing a good job getting sticks up. There you go.
Nice poke away there as Rodacast got a stick on and knocked it away. ESD controls possession still. This one working on the far side. Gives it to Montgomery straight away. A pump fake there and a turnover for, so ESD able to get back to full strength and kill the penalty. Maybe a little added momentum here for the Rangers as they continue to push forward.
Excellent job on the kill there for Jesuit. Locked down on those turnover
on the far sideline, and then another penalty flag thrown. Montgomery was able to come across. Actually, I take that back. That's Paxton Marks, the senior, forcing the turnover and then drawing the foul as well. Here's another chance for Skalinak, who scored the first goal. A turnaround there, saved by Milliken, and the save's going to null the advantage. But once again, Jesuit about to go down a man for the second time in the past 2 minutes.
Skalinak pretty good creating in isolation there, got himself a little jump shot. But Jesuit really played some of their best defense of this first quarter. Down a man there. Really came together as a unit. Killed that off pretty easily. Let's see if they can do it again.
The attacking opportunities have been flowing in the first quarter from the ESD. 4 minutes left before the end of the first period. They are up 4-0 as the timeout's going to be called here by Coach Pat Kennedy to talk things over with his Eagles squad, who has really executed as well as you possibly could have. Jesuit not necessarily playing bad defensively. It's just ESD's able to turn the quarter with the speed and make a little bit more effective moves whenever they're on the attacking end.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the one turnover on the offensive end there from Hassel that ESD was able to take back the other way, and Nakai Montgomery, who's just a finisher. He's one of the best players in the state of Texas, arguably in the country, the Duke commit. For Jesuit, though, you just got to weather the storm right now. I mean, this has just been about as perfect a start as you could draw up for the ESD Eagles. They've controlled possession. They were able to get the counter goal off of the turnover. They haven't really had to sit back and play much defense at all. They've had 2 advantages.
And if you're Jesuit on the other side, you're just trying to get it past midfield. Keep the ball out of the net. You would have to let Milliken work as much as possible. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the entire state. He's the reason you're in this game. He hasn't had the success that you normally would expect from Milliken, but at the same time, you can't allow ESD to have the kind of looks that they've been getting and give your goalkeeper at least a somewhat of a chance. And that's not anything that they've been able to do so far.
Yeah, the thing that Jesuit was able to do very successfully up to this point was keep teams from a distance, and they made it difficult funneling everything outside. ESD's had success getting inside the crease and having some open scoring opportunities on Milliken. He's really only given up one thing typically he should have saved. But this defense does seem like they're tightening up and getting stronger as the game goes on. It's still very early.
There is a lot of lacrosse left to play, and Jesuit showed yesterday afternoon that they can attack in bundles. Under 4 minutes remaining now here in the first quarter. ESD taking their time, looking for any kind of open penetration. Try and make it in toward the crease.
A lot of patience here from ESD.
Skalinak to Montgomery. Here's Skalinak on the near sideline. So working on the far side. Montgomery finding a man sneaking near the far post. That one's saved by Milliken as he stands up the ESD attacker and keeps this one at a 4-goal deficit. Now looking to clear. Only 10 seconds left in the penalty. It looks like Jesuit's going to continue their success that they've had so far this afternoon, being down a man, as they will kill the penalty and get back to full strength.
0 for 2 on the advantage now from ESD. Great work from the Rangers. Now they got to get it across midfield. They do. Oh.
Not so fast. ESD still holding strong right in the middle of the field. This ball being poked around on the sideline, and it's going to be picked up by Johnston as he will pass it forward to Tabor.
They got called for an offsides there. Aiden Johnston did a good job picking up that ground ball, getting the clear on. It looks like the Rangers were back on the offensive attack, and just like that, here comes ESD.
It's an unfortunate break, but they're going to get it back here. Nice play defensively by Wiederek. Able to put the ball on the ground, and here is a Jesuit chance here. Goal line extended for Burnham, as Jesuit not changing the game plan up, and for good reason. There's a lot of lacrosse left to play. You've got to make the most of every goal-scoring opportunity, and so far Jesuit has not had any.
Yeah, now they're going to have an opportunity to finally set up that attack.
Burnham back to Smith. Smith, actually that's Sprock.
Yeah, Sprock's got the speed.
Working on that far sideline, loses his footing, had turned the corner before he was swarmed by a couple ESD defenders. He rips a shot, but it's going to hit nothing but crossbar This one on the ground near the 26-yard line is going to be picked up by ESD, flipped back to Prescott King.
David Sprock taking on 3 ESD defenders, creates separation, delivers an absolutely sensational shot, and it clanks off the front iron.
Just an unfortunate turn of events there for Jesuit. And the guy that you want with the ball in his hands, and there's a turnover force, so the Rangers will get it back. Sprock, the Virginia commit, working on that far sideline. Like you said, made 3 defenders miss. Maybe not on purpose. He slipped down, but still was able to get past him. Had an open look and got it past Prescott King, but just couldn't get it past the post. Vivian gets it knocked out of his stick, and a nice play there as Burnham was able to clean up the mess.
Carson Rainey whacking that one out for the Eagles.
Here's Burnham near sideline, thought about the shot, looking in the middle, trying to find any kind of outlet pass that he can, working toward the crease. Another 3 defenders on him. He's able to keep the ball, get it to Hovivian, and then they'll reset up top to Ellison. Ellison on the far side now.
ESD's doing a pretty good job of switching here. Nakai Montgomery in the heart of things.
Jackson getting it to Burnham, and Prescott King able to get on a knee and make the save. Great passing from Jesuit, opening up a beautiful scoring opportunity. Burnham was there, tried to go underneath Prescott King, but King read it quickly.
Oh, that was an unbelievable feed over to Burnham, who gets low. Looks like he's going to sneak it between the wickets there. Prescott King, and King with the stop.
10 seconds left. Montgomery working toward the goal line, extended a shot and a goal. ESD continuing their dominance as Wasserman found himself open in the middle of the slot, and with 6 ticks remaining before the end of the first quarter, ESD grows their lead to 5.
Well, that was picture perfect lacrosse there. ESD gets right down in a hurry. Nakai Montgomery working goal line extended, feet in front of the net, and the Eagles are able to finish it and put it home 5-0. ESD, they're picking a really good time to play the best lax we've probably seen them play all year long.
They played really well in the second half against the Woodlands yesterday. It was enough to pull away and make an 11-8 victory over the Highlanders.
See if the Rangers wings can help. Oh, that's a nice win
by Pyatt. A clean face-off win and a quick shot there, ill-advised.
Well, the quarter ended.
Oh, it was a quarter ended. I apologize.
That's okay. That's all right.
Wasn't paying attention
We're in the game
clock
right now.
Yeah.
We're not worried about the clock.
Right. Peter Buell with that
so
one
back and
last
forth.
heave at the end of the quarter. Pyatt almost had a chance to set up a scoring opportunity. If that somehow would have snuck past Prescott King, may have been a different story. Jesuit with the momentum heading into the second quarter, but ESD dominant in the first 12 minutes of this one.
Yeah, that was really all Eagles, and for the Rangers, it's just get that offensive attack set up. They're such a good passing team. That's really what works so well for them offensively, but ESD's done a really good job whacking at those sticks, knocking balls loose, and they are so quick right now on the counterattack. And then on the offensive end, 2 teams that play a very similar style, very patient passing, but ESD's seen a lot of success working in front of the crease, and Luke Milliken's probably, I don't think he's allowed 5 goals in a quarter all year.
I don't think he has either. Nonetheless, there's been a lot of games this season where he's not given up 5 goals in the entire outing. You look at the Keller game, Southlake, Coppell. A lot of those players against St. Mark's, he only gave up 5 goals. That's a state quarterfinal team. And it's just really ESD executing better than they ever have before and taking advantage of every opportunity that they've had on the attacking end.
But for Jesuit, it's like we talked about. It was a bad quarter. Everything went ESD's way there. There's 3 quarters left, plenty of time. We saw them come out in the second half, and they looked like a completely different team. Really manhandled the Highland Park Scots, who are a very talented team in their own right in that second half. Got down 3-1 and were able to close that gap, tied up at 3 going into halftime. So the Rangers are a team that just because they're down 5, they're not going to get down. They can turn this thing around and make this competitive and close and come back and win this.
First things first, though, they have to make a run here in the second quarter. Try and chip away at the deficit. You don't need all 5 here in the next 12 minutes. You got to just get a few at a time and then play really solid defense at least give yourself a chance heading into that second half. Here's Pyatt again to the face-off X. He's been good in the last couple of minutes, won that final face-off cleanly.
He was best face-off.
Yes, it was. So 12 minutes back on the clock. We're underway here again from Katy, Texas, the state championship final between Jesuit and ESD. This one going to be picked up by Trey Bender and then turned over quickly as Jesuit gets it back. He'll flip it back to Johnston, and Pyatt will make his way off. Jesuit on the attack.
Yeah, good job by Dixon Smith there, and that was a little different switch there with the wings, with Smith and Johnston coming in to help out Pyatt on that face-off.
The Jesuit taking their time on the attacking end, no surprise there. Here's Sprock. Back to Hassel. Hassel inching his way closer to the goal line. He'll dump it back behind. Now working with Tabor, who had a career-high 3 goals and an assist yesterday afternoon against Highland Park. He's going to break back toward the middle. Had a little bit of extra room. There's a lot of space in the middle of the field for Jesuit to work with if they wanted to.
That was a play right there that Tabor had so much success on yesterday against the Scots.
Here's an open shot for Sprock. He's going to be stood up by King. Fall into the crease, so a violation is going to give it back to Jesuit. Sprock had a lot of momentum carrying him past that wide line and ultimately ending in the violation. There's a slip, a fall there from Jack Loftus, a freshman for ESD. A lot of young players on this Eagles squad. A lot to look forward to for ESD. 5-0 the score, nearing the 10-minute mark here in the second quarter. Far sideline just in front of their own bench. There's an attacking chance for Kolpak. Scored the 3rd goal of the game.
Little strain there behind the net. Seen several players slipping.
A lot of slipping today.
Yeah.
That one knocked away by Jesuit. Picked up again by ESD in the middle of the slot, and a save from Milliken. Nice job by the senior, getting down on the ground and catching that one on a hop.
Yeah, that came in a hurry too, and Milliken did a good job of getting low to stop that one. Jesuit now on the clear. They've had a little bit of trouble. Looks like they're going to get it out here. Hassel doing a good job.
Yeah, Hassel going to use that big body to get past midfield, working now toward the 30-yard line back as he gives it to Jack Tabor. Tabor played a lot in the face-off X early in the season whenever Will Pyatt went out. Had a little bit more success yesterday on the attacking end of things, like we talked about, the 3 goals and the assist, both career highs for Tabor, the junior midi.
See if the Rangers go back to working Tabor around the circle, coming left to right, set up a couple screens for him that he can use that right to
almost
come
a pick and roll type
yeah,
play
exactly.
for Hassel
step
there.
Up near the cross, near the crease.
There's Burnham potentially looking for a screen from Sprock. Instead, he's going to break back to his left, try and sneak that one into the far post. Can't do so as it misses by just inches. Pyatt was there, but I believe if Burnham would have gone near post instead of far post, he may have snuck that one in.
Yeah, that one just a little wide, but good speed from Burnham to create that scoring opportunity.
Here's Hassel again. Trying to work toward the goal line extended, turning the corner, finding a wide open and a scoring Peter Buell as the Rangers are on the board doing exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah, and that's how you draw it up. Buell just working in front there, and they caught ESD sleeping. Paxton Marks didn't peel off, lost his man. Buell was wide open in the slot right in front of the net. And Jesuit, a much-needed goal with 8:15 to play in the half, cuts it to 4.
And the chipping away starting now for Jesuit. They could get another face-off win here. The momentum will have shifted in their favor. Buell had a goal yesterday afternoon. A violation is going to give it to ESD. So the Eagles will take it. 8 minutes left here in the second quarter. 5-1 the score. Jesuit just coming off of their first goal of the afternoon. Here's Montgomery working far side, guarded closely by Smith. Smith's had a great game today. The Jacksonville commit doing a good job on the defensive end of things. He's forced a bundle of ESD turnovers so far in the first half of this one. Here's Montgomery far side, one of the 5 goal scorers for ESD. That shot wild coming off the turnaround, a sharp angle. So it'll end up in the net of Milliken. And Jesuit defensively forcing a stop and working it past midfield.
As you said, Kyle, that shot at a sharp angle. Credit Teddy Wagner, who's actually running it up now. 7 in Navy for Jesuit, peeled back over and had to redirect that shot. Now the Rangers are able to reset, retool on offense.
Chance here to shrink that deficit even more. Defense playing better in the second half of that first quarter. Only gave up the 1 goal late after giving up 4 early goals in the first 4 minutes. Here come the Rangers on offense. Wiederek working it all the way around to Jackson, and Jackson gets picked off. Nice play there by Paxton Marks, the senior defenseman, able to get up a stick and make the interception.
Paxton Marks much more alert there after he got caught on the previous scoring goal for Jesuit. Stick up in the lane that time. Able to intercept it, causing the turnover back to ESD.
King has it as he'll give it back to Marks. Marks trotting his way up to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, he really is. Redirecting some traffic now.
A couple more Jesuit players losing their footing and a lot of room to work with on the left side here for Tran. Tran working back toward the middle, finding an open and a scoring Skalinak. And ESD behind their junior midi, Patrick Skalinak, have made it 6-1.
Just so quick. The tempo of passes for ESD, it makes it difficult. Jesuit's not even doing a poor job switching defensively. They're there, but it's just coming at such a high rate of speed. Nothing doing. A great shot. Milliken unable to get there in time. Really well executed offense right now for ESD.
Skalniak, the first ESD Eagle to score multiple goals so far this afternoon. Before then, it was 5 goals from 5 different goal scorers. As Pyatt in a tough battle here in the face-off X, and he's going to win it. Work back toward his defensive area, give it to Johnston. Johnston looking for Milliken. Instead, he's going to switch fields and give it to McCarrow. Now a clearance for Jesuit to get him back on the attacking end of things. A nice pass there, finding Hassel barely threading the needle on the sideline.
That was pretty, right around the boundary, but he's able to get it there. Good accuracy on that long pass.
So Hassel will work it far side, finding Tabor. Almost 5 minutes left here in the first half of action. Hassel on the far sideline, working between the numbers and the hash marks. Now breaking back in toward the middle of the field. He'll give it to Tabor straight away. Thought about the shot. He's going to give it back to Sprock. Sprock in the middle of the field, finding the goal scorer in Bull. But a save there from Prescott King keeps it a 5-goal deficit.
And that's been a really nice trio there for Jesuit all postseason, all season long, with Sprock, Tabor, working it over to Buell. Just a really good save by Prescott King.
Yeah, Buell was there again. A big scoring opportunity. Montgomery trying to loft that one up and over the defense, trying to find Brandon Moe. Moe has it. Actually, I take that back. That's Kolpak, another goal scorer for ESD, giving it to Montgomery. And then back to Tran. Tran will trot his way over to the near sideline.
Keep an eye on Nakai Montgomery, 13 in gray. Doesn't seem like he's doing much right now, but that kid can move and cover ground in a blur.
Very shifty player. A lot of pressure in the middle of the field. A lot of shifting and action.
Lots of switching
between
going on.
the defensemen for ESD. working the numbers game on the attacking side of things. A screen set there off the pick and roll. Here comes Roan working toward the middle of the field. He's going to split the defenders, trying to get the ball out of his right hand. A swarm of Jesuit defensemen. It's going to force the turnover, but a violation called.
Yeah, it's going to stay with ESD, but a good job by Jesuit there. I think if there's one thing, they've got a little bit of a size advantage on ESD, and they're utilizing their length there to make it difficult on the Eagle attack.
3:15 left in the first half. Montgomery has it near side numbers, as they'll give it to Tran, number 8 in gray. He's had a nice game so far this afternoon as well. Hasn't scored a goal, but he's been a facilitator for the Eagles offense. ESD patiently working around the perimeter. Jesuit defensively has been sound in the past 10 or so minutes of gameplay. Trying to hold strong here against the Duke commit in Montgomery. Montgomery splitting defenders. A wild shot. It's going to be saved by Milliken. And a crease violation. Dixon Smith picked that ball out of thin air. He did go inside the crease, just wasn't watching where his feet were, and took a couple steps inside the white line. Just an unfortunate break for Jesuit. Had forced the turnover in a timeout called by Pat Kennedy with 2:22 left here in the second quarter. Two's running wild on the scoreboard right now, and ESD continuing to run wild on the attacking end as well.
It's a fun matchup, though, when you got Dixon Smith, 8 in Navy for Jesuit, one of the better defensemen on this team for the Rangers, the Jacksonville commit, going up against Nakai Montgomery, 13 in gray for ESD, and trying to work in ISO there against Smith. Montgomery with that little jump step back to create. Really nice save from Milliken.
Yeah, Milliken's been playing better as well in the second quarter. He had a beautiful afternoon last night against Highland Park, tied his career high with 15 saves. Ironically, the tie of that career high came in the playoffs last year in the state championship game, 15 saves against that same Highland Park program. But tonight, not as much of the same success. He's given up 6 goals in the first 2 quarters of this one, still with 2:22 left in this first half. But ESD has just been executing about as well as they possibly could have.
Yeah, ESD has been playing phenomenally well. And this is an area, though, late here, 2:22 to play. In the first half, we saw Jesuit really go against Highland Park yesterday. It's kind of where they found their groove a little bit, took in a lot of momentum to the halftime break, and then they came out and really dominated the second half. I think both these teams, as we talked about in the intro, really good second half teams, but Jesuit maybe a little bit more so than ESD.
I think I'd have to agree with you there. I believe Jesuit well off in the second half, more so than they are in the first half. Saw that yesterday whenever they rattled off 7 of the last 8 goals against the Scots. And they're going to have that same kind of success here.
It all starts with a defensive stop, and we've yet to see the Rangers really force a turnover and get that counterattack moving. Now would be a really good time.
Would be indeed. Both of these teams used to the stage that they are playing on here in the state championship game. Jesuit been here the 7 of the last 8 seasons in terms of being in at least the state semifinals.
Going for back-to-back state championships.
They are. Defending state champions in trouble here. This one rolled to Montgomery as he's going to make his way onto the sideline, or off the sideline, excuse me. Under 2 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Montgomery making a move, trying to get around Johnston. As McCarrow picked up the loose ball. Almost a turnover there, and he's going to find a wide open. What a save from Milliken! From his knees, standing up Kolpak. He's got to do it again here. Montgomery can't score either. Milliken turning it on here in the final 2 minutes of this first half. It's going to stay with ESD, unable to get a clearance, but Milliken trying to get a timeout, or he thought a timeout was called. Let's see who it is from. It's going to be from Jesuit, so it's going to stay with the Rangers after the whistles were blown. But Milliken making one of the most incredible saves we've seen all season long from his knees.
Wow. Yeah, he went low, and you saw that changing of the levels there from ESD on the shot, trying to fake him out. Milliken held his own, stonewalling there, picking that net up, and then follows it up with another incredible save.
Couldn't tell if that shot from Montgomery hit the post or if it was saved. I believe it did nick the net of Milliken.
Maybe. Yeah, I think Milliken definitely got a piece of it.
Either way, the fact that he was even in position to make the save was an incredible show of athleticism in the last couple seconds. Back-to-back, just highlight reel saves to keep Jesuit in the ballgame.
It's the reason he's an all-state selection, and he stood on his head and net right there for the Jesuit Rangers. Unbelievable job.
Both of these teams littered with all-state nominees, or recipients, I should say. Scott Bauer from ESD, Brandon Moe from ESD, Nakeem Montgomery, and then Patrick Skalinak. We've seen all four of those players make plays for the Eagles. And then Luke Milliken, like you said, one of the two goalkeepers named to the All-State team. And then David Sprock for Jesuit as well, who's had limited success here in the first half, had a great game yesterday afternoon. And then you also have the All-District Daniel Burnham for Jesuit, Aiden Johnston for Jesuit, and then Prescott King, the goalkeeper for ESD, alongside Dixon Smith as well. A lot of well-deserved recipients of all-district and all-state nominees on these teams, and there's a reason why they're here.
Yeah, absolutely. Littered with talent, along with Division I committed players.
1:25 left on the clock. And even though the timeout was called by Jesuit, it is staying with ESD. That is my fault. I thought it was Jesuit ball. They are forced with the task of stopping this high-powered ESD attack, who's had success here in the first two quarters. Now to the 1 minute mark before the halftime break. ESD taking their time. Have had more success working off of the counter attack and quick passing than they have with isolation so far in this one. That one's going to be knocked away by Jesuit. Working through to the defenders is Rotacast.
Yeah, this is where the Rangers have had some trouble, though.
McMillan and a big penalty called.
Advantage.
Oh, and there's a spike from Aaron. There's another flag thrown.
Oh,
Montgomery
goodness.
Called after that. Two flags flew. Montgomery is going to be tagged with the initial foul, and then maybe a delay of game, potentially something more than that.
Well, Brandon Moe is on his knees for ESD. He just looked sick to his stomach there. Now he's going to have a conversation with the officials, but this is setting up nicely if you're a Jesuit Ranger fan with the advantage.
So Montgomery is going to take a knee on the far sideline in the penalty box. A couple flags still to be picked up on the field. Should be at least a delay of game.
Yep.
With his spike of the ball afterwards. I haven't heard an official call yet. And it should be more than just a minute for Montgomery. He's at least going to,
well, there's only 32
in the second quarter
left in this half. Plenty of time for the Rangers to put one in.
Be a big momentum swing here if Jesuit can get on the board before the halftime break. They got 30 seconds to work with. Back behind to Burnham. Burnham finding Jackson. Jackson winding up. He'll give it to Hassel. Jesuit laser rapid fire passing on this possession. They've got 13 seconds to work with.
10 seconds.
Finding Jackson. Jackson now with 7 seconds remaining. Straight away finding Hassel. Hassel doesn't have any time left. He's going to run. I don't think he was watching the clock.
I don't think he knew either.
I don't think they had any idea that the clock was running out, but it does run out. And the first half comes to a close. Jesuit with a big opportunity in the final minutes with an advantage. One of the best players on the ESD sideline in the penalty box, and they just couldn't convert.
Well, 6-1 at half. ESD playing an incredible half of lacrosse there. And Jesuit now, as we talked about, a second half team. They do a really good job of going into the locker room at the break, making some necessary adjustments. And I think you'll see a revitalized, refreshed group of this Rangers club coming out in the second half.
Well, Jesuit has a little bit of work to do if they're going to defend their state title here in the 2017 THSLL State Championship game as they trail by 5 heading to the halftime break. We will be back with second half action. You've been watching the state championship presented by Game On Sports.
Plain and simple. One heartbeat. One heartbeat. That means you give everything you got for each other because you can't live without the other guy. So let's give everything we got. It's got to start with possessions, and that starts with ground balls. We got to get after the loose balls. We got to stay together, and we got to climb this mountain together. We've overcome tough odds. Let's go get this one. 1, 3, 1 heartbeat. 1, 2, 3. 1 heartbeat.
A dream. I'm chasing down a dream. I'm chasing down.
I've been rapping since I was talking, running since I was walking, grabbing that microphone from the stand like my daddy taught me.
Welcome back to Rhodes Stadium in Katy, Texas, where ESD has opened up a 6-1 advantage over the Jesuit Rangers here in the THSLL State title game, presented by Game On Sports. I'm Kyle Yeomans alongside Zach Wolchuk, bringing you the second half of action. We are just about ready for the third quarter face-off to get things underway, and Jesuit has a lot of work to do, Zach.
Well, 24 minutes left. We'll find out. Is Jesuit able to mount this comeback and win back-to-back state titles, or will ESD complete the perfect season?
ESD 15-0 overall coming into this one, pursuing perfection. And then on the other side, you have Jesuit 14-5 overall. They finished 7-2 in the North District. That was good enough to be tied for second. They were classified as the third seed coming out of the North District, but they've made their way to the state title game, and ESD just came out firing in that first quarter and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, it was a picture-perfect first half for the most part for ESD. Everything going their way. They were really crisp on their offensive attack. Did a pretty good job inside of the X. Will Pyatt found his groove, though, late in that second quarter for Jesuit. We were just talking about it off air. This is a Rangers team that came out hot and looking sensational in the second half against Highland Park yesterday. They're going to need to have a similar outing, and I think they're going to start off with that advantage carrying over from the first half.
So 12 minutes back on the clock, and Montgomery back in the penalty box. So Jesuit will start with possession. An golden opportunity for the Navy and gold Jesuit Rangers. Here's Burnham on the far sideline as he'll give it to Hassel. Hassel straight away looking for a passing route. He'll give it to Burnham again. Burnham breaking back to the goal line extended. He'll give it to Jackson.
Keep an eye on Tabor in the middle, number 9 in Navy.
Here's Hassel finding a streaking Burnham who was flying from behind the goal, who tried the turnaround shot. There to pick up the possession was Sprock. And so, actually, it was Jackson, so the Rangers will keep possession.
You can see the tempo building right now, though, and there's a throwaway a little too high for Hassel.
An unfortunate break as Burnham was trying to connect with his big number 44 teammate. Here's a run on the other end and a great defensive stop there. Dixon Smith able to get a stick in the way. Couple of
now
whistles.
They're going to bring it back. It's a call on Jesuit. Ball will stay with ESD.
I don't know how there's any way that Skalniak got decleated like that, as he's going to get an open shot here. It's going to go wide and to the left. Looked like Skalniak just kind of fell down.
Yeah, I think he slipped. But I was already redirecting, following the ball up to the other side of the field. I didn't get a clean look at it. Maybe the officials saw something we didn't.
So ESD nonetheless with possession yet again. they're going to take their time on offense, working in the middle of the field. Here's Montgomery back from his penalty. Still flabbergasted on the fact that they didn't give him any more added minutes after his delay of game type call. Only spent 1 minute in the penalty box. Straight away, trying to find his teammate in Roan. Jesuits just been catching the wrong breaks in terms of trying to pick up loose balls as well. Here's Montgomery working near hash, going to the right side. He's going to break back toward the middle, find an open
Nice stop.
and a beautiful save once again from Milliken as Castleman was streaking in the slot. Had a lot of momentum and no one in front of him, but Milliken stood him up.
Saw a lot of first half pressure in yesterday's game from Highland Park, making it difficult for Jesuit to get it across midfield. They struggled again in the first half of this one against DSD. Much better job clearing here.
So ESD slowing it down yet again. Here's Tabor coming fresh off his hat trick last night against Highland Park. Hasn't had a shot on goal so far this afternoon. 9:10 remaining in the third quarter. The score still remaining 6-1 in favor of the ESD Eagles. Here's Tabor again working toward the middle of the field, met by a couple bigger bodies. Still holding his own, laying a shoulder into him. Keeping possession for Jesuit, excuse me.
And Carson Rainey on the defense there, picking up the switch for ESD. Looks like he might have had a little bit of a hook in there, but keeping it playing. That switch from Sprock to Tabor. That's a lot of speed coming off that rotation for the Rangers.
Here's Burnham on the far sideline. Working on that far hash. He's going to break back behind the goal. Looked for the dump off, potentially trying to get it to Buell. Instead, he'll work out of the corner. Looking for the screen from Sprock. He gets it. Nice switch defensively from ESD.
Yeah, they've done a really good job working around those screens that caused Highland Park a lot of problems yesterday.
Here's Sprock, the Virginia commit, faking right, breaking left. Had Tabor kind of in his shot lane. Tabor tried to get out of the way. It would have been a tough shot regardless.
See Burnham now creeping his way towards the crease. Bull back behind the net too. He's been pretty shifty.
Jesuit has to take advantage of every opportunity, and Jack Tabor does just that. Diving to the ground with the backhand to put it home.
Unbelievable finish from the junior midi, Jack Tabor. You put in the call there, Kyle. He had a hat trick against the Scots in the semifinal yesterday. Had yet to get on the board here this afternoon. He does so there, 6-2, and a good start to the second half for the Jesuit Rangers.
A highlight reel goal from Tabor adds a little extra life into this Rangers faithful as Pyatt goes back to the face-off X, looking to control possession yet again.
Credit this fan base, the Jesuit. They bring the noise.
Pyatt gets the initial face-off win, and the push is going to be called, and good call there. I was about to point that out. It looked like Pyatt got checked in the back, and so Jesuit will control possession, a chance to cut the lead in half and to make it only a 3-goal deficit.
Just keep building on that momentum, stacking up goals. Nice screen there from Sprock.
Unfortunately, Hassel had nowhere to go off of the screen, but like you said, Sprock like a brick wall. Here's Burnham with the sharp angled shot. He's going to miss it, trying to sneak it inside the near post. And there to pick up the loose ball is Buell. Buell was the first goal scorer for Jesuit, and Tabor, the second goal scorer. Here's an attack here from Ellison. Ellison almost able to fit it inside the upper 90, couldn't do so, but Burnham is there.
Good strength from Ellison. That little shoulder bun created enough space there where he had a chance at a good shot, just a little wide.
Burnham trying to get it to Sprock any way he can. Sprock is blanketed by Holmes Davis. Sprock making a move, finding it wide open. Buell in the middle of the crease, working between the hashes. That's the second time this afternoon that Buell has popped his way open from that ASD defense, just couldn't put it home.
He's really savvy working around the crease there, but good field vision. of David Sprock right there to set up that feed.
Here's Hassel getting it in the middle to Ellis, and a long windup. Scoring opportunities coming in bunches for Jesuit in the past 4 minutes.
I love Marshall Ellison throwing that shoulder in there.
There's a lot of added velocity in that shot.
Yeah. He's able to get that bump, fall backwards, and then really a good torque and follow through. He can just get that down a little bit.
Here's Ellison again, still working with the left shoulder, trying to go off the right hand. Gets it to Sprock. Sprock switching fields and finding Daniel Burnham. The Swine commit makes it a 3-goal game. Jesuit is back in it.
Bang right there. Daniel Burnham off that left side, top cheddar. And you can see the ripples in the back of the net. That one came at a high rate of velocity and speed. Great finish. The Rangers banged 2 home very quickly.
Jesuit with 2 unanswered goals here in the third quarter to make it 6-3 with 5:49 remaining here in the third period, and a chance for Pyatt to make another big impact. He's unable to win the faceoff. Here's an open opportunity for Bender. Bender's going to retreat a little bit and just have to bounce that one to Montgomery near midfield. But Jesuit, climbing their way back into this, have to still play defense, especially against the Duke commit, as Montgomery snipes that one home.
Yeah, Nakai Montgomery just using that speed, working right side, and he's got that ability to finish in a blink, and he showed it there. Had to wonder how would ESD respond from a little bit of adversity. The first time they'd really faced some this afternoon, with Jesuit making a little bit of a run. Nakai Montgomery answering right there.
Didn't take a whole lot of time, only 20 seconds for Montgomery to snipe that one in from about 10 yards out, but at a weird angle. That one knocked away. Coming over to try and make the play is Matthew Pretty, and he does pick it up for Jesuit, trying to stay in bounds on the near sideline. He's going to be pushed out. An unfortunate break yet again for the Rangers.
Pretty just caught him between the human sandwich. They knock him out. ESD back on the attack. Oh, turnover.
Turnover quickly. That one picked up by Burnham. Jesuit has numbers, looking on the far side and finding a wide open Trey Wiederek. And Jesuit not out of it just yet. They're continuing to fight and keep this lead where it stands.
Yeah, the energy's building on that Jesuit sideline now. First time we see them being able to work off the counterattack. You've been waiting all afternoon for the Rangers to get that turnover. They do it at midfield. They come back down, put it home, quick pass, shot, make it 7-4, cut it to 3.
There's a change in the face-off ex. Jack Tabor, who had success yesterday and success earlier in the season at the X, trying to take this one away. He's going to have that one easily won by Trey Bender. Bender's going to work his way back into the defensive area in order to try and find a clearance route.
Jesuit picking up the pressure now on ESD. They give it to Nakai. He's able to bully it forward.
Added pep in the step for this Rangers squad after 3 out of the last 4 goals coming on their end of things. Without that Montgomery answer in the last ESD possession, we're talking about a complete comeback in order for Jesuit. They would only have been down by 2. They're still down by 3, which is better than what they were facing at the halftime break.
But it's a different team. You can see this is a second half unit. Jesuits come out. They're playing with a lot more confidence right now. They've kind of found their footing.
A lot at stake after they were really gut punched in the first half. 6-1 was the score at the end of 2. And the adjustments they've made since the halftime break have been working on the offensive end of things, not necessarily on the defensive end.
Well, defensively, they've been much better on their essentially half-court defense.
Right in the middle of the neutral zone.
It's the fast break that's really caught them.
There's another scoring opportunity. He swarmed. A nice play by Teddy Wagner, pushing him to the ground. A flag is going to be thrown. The advantage played. And pleading his case is Dixon Smith. Smith and Wagner teamed up for a nice defensive play, and Looked like the ESD attacker just fell to the ground.
I wonder if they're going to pick this one up. I don't think they are. Looked like one of the officials came over. It seemed like body language. Maybe he was motioning. The player fell forward, fell down.
I didn't see anything wrong with that defensive play.
Can't say I did either.
He just ran into a sandwich of Navy jerseys.
Just a lot of bodies there, yeah.
There's not anywhere for him to go. But with the penalty, the junior Teddy Wagner going to take a knee on the far sideline. I don't blame him for what he did. That was just a good defensive play.
Trying to keep it in front of you.
ESD 0 for 2 so far this afternoon with the power play and the advantage.
Let's go, defense.
Jesuit has stood up whenever they've needed to. They've got 5 defenders in between the hashes, along with Milliken in goal.
Johnson, Smith, Purdy. Rajcast in there, along with Thomas Nolan.
Almost knocked away there by Rajcast.
Nolan will pick it up off the ground ball.
Great job by Thomas Nolan trying to find any kind of clearance, and that's been a real bugaboo for Jesuit all afternoon long, just trying to get it past midfield. Jesuit being swarmed by ESD attackers and middies have had trouble getting it out of their defensive zone.
You got to give credit to Nakai Montgomery there. That was just quick.
There's a laser shot coming from Montgomery, but it's going to be stood up by Milliken. This one forward to Rodacast. Rodacast finding Wiedercheck finding an open Buell, and Buell's going to be stood up by King. A nice save by Prescott King to keep this lead at 3 for ESD.
Jesuit again with that counter. They put the pressure on. Buell right in front of the net. Tried to change levels on King, but King stood tall in the front of the net to not allow it.
Beautiful passing on the counterattack from Jesuit. Opened up a huge opportunity. This one's going to almost sneak all the way. There's a big hit. It's going to be a push-off. Smith hit the turf, and it's going to give it back to the Rangers.
And that one just popped in the air. I don't think Michael Kolpak had any idea where it was.
Here's Sprock in the middle of the field finding Wiederek.
Penalty comes in.
Penalty call.
Yeah, Jesuit will await the advantage here.
Jesuit has yet to have an advantage here in the second half. They had it to start with Montgomery on the sideline, but they were 0 for 1, weren't able to convert. They have time to slow it down here with the advantage. 1:20 remaining on the clock. If they can wait to give up the advantage until the 1 minute mark, and instead it's going to be a wild shot here from Burnham with 1:15 left. If they were going to be able to wait and milk that clock down under the 1 minute mark, they could have started with possession.
Nice spin move there from Burnham to create separation. He had a lot of momentum there. I think that's a shot that he's nailed at several points throughout this year. Went ahead and took it just a little high, but now the Rangers will work on that advantage. 3 goals already in this third quarter.
Yeah, they've scored 3 of the last 4 goals, trying to tack on another one here in the final minute 15 before we head to the fourth. A lot of space to work with near the far hash. Switching field, trying to find Tabor. Tabor can't handle it and get it back off the turf. And he'll give it to Hassel. Hassel up top to Wiederek. Hassel back to Tabor. Tabor working it around and finding Jackson. Hassel straight away finding a winding up Burnham. Here's Jackson with a lot of room, and he sneaks it in the far post. Jacob Jackson, the sophomore, makes it 7-5.
Beautiful job working over Chase Toledo, the long stick mid/defenseman of ESD, and he just looped it over the top there. And Jesuit was feeling backdoor. Tabor was there for a second, gives it off to his running mate off that left side. Goal line extended, great finish.
It's a 2-goal game. Jesuit back in at 7-5 with 42 seconds remaining. That's the first power play goal of the game for either squad. Being up by a good amount was ESD. They were up 6-1. Pyatt back into the faceoff. X unable to win that one. It's going to be picked up by ESD. But Jesuit down 6-1 early in this one, climbing their way back. A fake shot there is going to go off, and it's going to be a turnover. Jesuit gets it back and a chance to continue to cut this deficit. Milliken has it, looking for a clearance. We saw him yesterday go all the way past midfield. Might do it again. Instead, he finds an open Hovivian. Hovivian finding it, winding up in a score in Daniel Burnham, and the comeback is still alive. Jesuit all the way back. They're back within one.
Here come the Rangers. It looked like all of a sudden they might get caught defensively. They did a poor job getting set, but they forced the turnover. Great job by Milliken, aggressive by the goaltender, coming out near around midfield, gets the clear. And then Jesuit tic-tac-toe puts it home. And all of a sudden it's 7-6 with 9 ticks remaining in the third.
ESD is absolutely shell-shocked. Jesuit pouring it on.
Kyle.
Second half team, we talked about it at the end of the first half. That one picked out of the air. Sprock has it. 2 seconds left. Sprock's got to put it off. He's not going to get it off. He does keep ESD off the board, though, in the last 9 seconds. This is a completely different game. It was 6-1 at halftime. Jesuit scoring 5 out of the 6 goals in the third period. And we've got ourselves a fourth quarter coming up that may be just as entertaining as we've ever seen.
Oh yeah, 12 minutes to decide a state champion, folks. This is fun. And we said, look, for Jesuit, just weather the storm. Everything was going right for ESD in that first quarter. Things were clicking. The balls were rolling in their favor. They were doing a really good job on their offensive attack. Something had to come back down to earth, and that third quarter belonged to the Jesuit Rangers. You got the counterattack going. They made the most of an advantage. Defensively, they forced a couple of turnovers. Jesuit is alive and well, down 1 with 12 minutes to play.
Down 1, and with every ounce of momentum that you could possibly put on a scale, Jesuit has it right now, working in their favor. Pyatt pumping up the crowd as he heads to the face-off X. Jesuit is alive and well, and we've got 12 minutes to decide a 2017 Texas State Lacrosse champion. It's 7-6, ESD with the advantage, but Jesuit has all the momentum. Pyatt back to the face-off X as we bring you the conclusion of this one on Game On Sports. I'm Kyle Yeomans alongside Zach Wolchuk as we bring you the final 12 minutes of action. We are underway here in the fourth. Pyatt fighting and winning the face-off. If he can pick it up off the turf, he does. It's going to be put back on the carpet. ESD is going to control the first possession here in the fourth.
Yeah, that was a loose ball there that Kolpak able to come away the beneficiary. It looked like Pyatt did have a clean win, but ESD will be able to reset.
Mo lurking back behind the net. Montgomery giving it to Skalniak. Excuse me.
Skalniak had an incredible first half. That entire ESD attack, aside from Nakai Montgomery, really quiet in that third, especially Mo.
Teddy Wagner losing his footing there, but Wagner's done a great job ever since the halftime break of shutting down Skalniak. One of the better players in the entire state, and Wagner has stood him up very well. Here's an open opportunity for Roan. Roan sending it back up top to Mo. And now working on the far side is Sean Tran. So the senior's going to be met by Johnston. Johnston, the all-district recipient, who's played extremely well in the defensive end of things here in the state championship weekend. Tran is on the floor grabbing his ankle. Jesuit's going to force the turnover, but Tran needs a timeout. Tran is still holding the back of his leg. You don't want to see that.
No, that's not a good look there, but a good job by Macaro to force that turnover.
And Macaro able to come in and slap away the ball, force the turnover for Jesuit, but for the last probably 20 seconds, Sean Tran was down on the back part of the side of that near hash. And so both teams taking a knee now as ESD looks over their senior attacker who has had a good game facilitating, hasn't had a goal so far this afternoon, but he has set up a couple scoring opportunities.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and take a look. It looks like he's getting up. That's a great sign.
He's going to walk off.
Hopefully just a rolled ankle. That's one he can shake off, get back out there.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a cramp from the
That could be the
calf.
case
I
as
think
well.
he was holding his calf, so
Yep.
I believe it. If it is something minor, it might just be a cramp, and that's good news if you're Sean Tran. You don't want to see a senior not be able to play the last 10 minutes and 30 seconds of the state championship game. We'll reset the stage a little bit here. 10:39 remaining in the fourth of the 2017 THSLL Division I state championship game. The battle for the state of Texas, the battle for Dallas between ESD and Jesuit. 7-6, the Eagles leading the Jesuit Rangers.
Well, you know the best lacrosse in the state. I mean, it's played in North Texas.
Both out of the combined Division I and Division II ranks. North Texas had 7 of the 8 semifinal teams. The only team not from the Dallas area, the Woodlands, which are just a couple miles down the road from where we sit currently, as they were defeated yesterday by ESD. 11-8 was the final there. Jesuit here because of a 8-4 victory over Highland Park yesterday afternoon.
Rangers smelling that tying goal. Here comes Tabor working that right side. He had success with this yesterday.
Tabor trying to turn the corner. He's met stiffly by Reeves Castleman. Tabor had 3 goals against the Scots yesterday. Here's Sprock coming over, trying to set a screen for Hasselman, who's guarded closely. Here's Hasselman tying it up. Great. Grayson Hassel somehow able to lay his shoulder into his defender, and the Navy commit ties it at 7. Absolutely incredible.
Tremendous job by Hassel. And they tried it again. Looping that right side. Tabor, he got checked around, wasn't able to find a good shot opportunity. Hassel, that time with his length and size, able with the follow through and the long stick to tie it up at 7. We got a dandy here in the state championship.
Jesuit scoring 6 of the last 7 goals scored. 6 of the 7 goals in the second half, and what a play. Coming across was Dixon Smith, running free. Jesuit trying to throw that one in. A good defensive play in transition by Christian Viracola, as Trey Widerchek may have just taken the lead for the Rangers.
And it's a complete reversal in scripts here, right around the midfield area, that neutral zone.
Look at
Jesuit is winning that battle.
Extra pep in the step from every single Jesuit attacker is visible. Here's a chance here for Hovivian. Looking in the middle of the slot, he has Burnham creeping outside the crease.
And Burnham's dangerous from that area.
Here's Sprock working near hash. He's got Vivian, and he will give it to Vivian.
Got Boole as well. You got to keep an eye on him. He's lurking behind the net.
8:40 remaining. Here's Sprock working toward the middle of the slot. There are a lot of gray jerseys crowded around that area.
Well, ESD watched that game against Highland Park, and they made sure that Jack Tabor is not going to have success like he did against the Scots yesterday.
Here's Sprock straight away. Makes a move on his first defender. Looking left hand, the long windup, almost able to sneak it in the near post. That one would have taken the lead for Jesuit. 7-7. Sprock, goal line extended. Met quickly by Bauer.
Burnham's calling for it at the top.
Burnham has a lot of room to work with. He has 2 goals on the afternoon. The crowd picking up. Burnham picking up. Burnham scoring. Daniel Burnham threading the needle, and the Jesuit Rangers have taken the lead. It is 8-7. Unbelievable.
He had room off that right side, Kyle. He was calling for it, and he could feel it. He just attacks the crease off the right side and slips it right past Prescott King. And all of a sudden, Jesuit with their first lead of the afternoon.
Somehow, Burnham, Prescott King was in the vicinity to make the save. That ball snuck in. I had to wait for the official call to come over, give us the hands up before we even knew it was in.
That was
unbelievable. Burnham with a hat trick on the afternoon makes it 8-7. 7 out of the last 8 goals belonging to the Jesuit Rangers, and the comeback now complete. Now you got to hold on. You have the lead. It's 8-7.
Yeah, well, don't change a thing. Don't all of a sudden start playing defensive now because you're up 1. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This high-energy, volume type of offense, the Rangers got to keep their foot on the pedal right now. We've seen ESD, Nakai Montgomery, just a few of the players that they've got. Patrick Skalniak, they've been quieted in this second half. But they're a sleeping giant that can emerge at any moment. Jesuits got to keep this pace. And if they do so, they can be looking at a back-to-back state championship.
Trying to defend what they did a year ago, defeating Highland Park in the championship game 9-4. Found themselves down 6-1 at the halftime break. It's with now 7 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, and they have their first lead of the ball game.
This is a huge face-off now. Will Pyatt has been in a battle right now inside the X with Michael Kolpak. This one's been back and forth all afternoon. Excuse me, it's Trey Bender for ESD.
It has been a battle for sure in the face-off X, but huge credit to the Jesuit defense as well. Johnston, McCarrow, Wagner, and Smith have been extremely stout in the past couple minutes. Montgomery has a lot of room to work with in the middle of the slot. He's going to find an open and a scoring Brandon Moe. And a quick answer from ESD. Milliken had minimal time to try and get up and make that save.
That's how quick ESD can strike. Nakai Montgomery, who you see walking at times on the offensive end, just being very patient. When he wants to go, he can go. And he took it there, found a man, Skalniak just lurking off that side. And that's a 1-2 punch for ESD, ties it up at 8, just what the doctor ordered. You get into crunch time here, you need your best players to step up. The Eagles did so there.
A violation against Pyatt. Pyatt was livid as he made his way onto the sideline. Not necessarily sure what the violation was for, but a quick whistle gives it back to ESD. So the Eagles looking to regain the lead almost instantly.
Jesuits defense, though, now back and reset, and they've done a really good job, as we've talked about. When they haven't been caught with numbers, they've been winning this battle and forcing ESD turnovers this half.
ESD's success has come from the counterattack and from quick, rapid-fire passing. Whenever you're forced to slow them down and get into isolation, that's where Jesuit has forced the majority of their turnovers.
Aiden Johnston alert. He's got Brandon Moe behind him there, who's trying to sneak back door, but he had an eye on him.
Here's a beautiful feed in the middle of the slot, knocked away by Milliken. The save is made. The pickup by Jesuit, his own push past midfield. And so the Rangers force the turnover off of the save from Luke Milliken, and bringing it up is Teddy Wagner.
Oh, great job by Wagner there. You can have your goaltender make an elite save like Milliken did there, but you got to get the ground ball and clear it, and Teddy Wagner took care of that for Jesuit.
Here's Hassel, who scored the game-tying goal. Trying to take the lead again, finding an open.
Oh, that was a cross check from
big
behind.
Hit on Peter Buell. Buell trying to get back up on his own power, took a shot from behind. I completely agree. That should have been a flag.
Yeah, he just nailed him back.
I don't know how that's not a flag.
Well, hey.
Could have gone either way.
We've seen.
We'll be impartial.
I don't know what
we'll
really is and isn't called these days.
We're not here to yell at the refs.
The officiating has been so wild in all these games this weekend, even dating back to last weekend. It's kind of pick and choose as we go.
Here's Hassel again, working back behind, giving it to Burnham. Burnham giving it to Wiederchek. Wiederchek loses his footing on the ground, a timeout. A whistle called, waiting for the official call.
Yeah!
So it's going to stay with Jesuit. An emphatic call from the opposite sideline from the officiating crew. So the ball was on the ground, and it looked like ESD tried to call a timeout, but instead it was a loose ball. They never had possession, so it's going to stay with Jesuit.
Yeah, good job by the officials there to get on that one.
Past the halfway point now here in the fourth quarter, under 5:40 remaining to decide a state champion. Here's Ellison working off the near sideline, making a move, breaking back toward the middle. He's going to spin to his right, looking for the right-handed shot, unable to do so. He's creeping and finding himself wide open as Buell just couldn't sneak it in the far post. He had himself open. That one's going to be picked up and scored by Burnham. Daniel Burnham has been unstoppable in the second half. And the senior, with his fourth goal of the game, gives the Rangers the lead 9-8.
Way to stay with the play for Daniel Burnham. Buell had a great feed in front, unable to capitalize. Burnham picks up the rebound and gets the finish. And now we're on that teeter-totter. Jesuit back on top, 9 with 5:19 to go.
What an individual effort this has been from Daniel Burnham. Pyatt fighting for the loose ball, has the positioning, just can't put a net on it. It's going to be whacked away by Johnston, and Johnston picks it up.
Aiden Johnston, who's been so good on ground balls this entire postseason run.
There's a big hit and a no call. Whistle's now being blown. And it's going to be a timeout called by Jesuit on the far sideline as they had the ball just in front of their bench. There was another big hit off the ball that wasn't called. Now with 4:58 remaining, each one of those no calls gets increasingly important because of the amount of weight that is added on each extra goal.
You're missing a good game, Rob!
Yeah, it's 9-8, and this one's tied. It's starting to get more and more physical as you get closer to the dying moments of this one. I mean, it's back and forth. These kids are putting it all out there. Jesuit now with another opportunity to get their first real cushion of this one. They've got a chance now with possession, clear cut on their offensive side with the timeout. Can they give themselves a 2-goal advantage?
Under 5 minutes remaining. If they were able to get a 2-goal advantage, the way their defense has been playing,
Yep, it would be huge.
it would be a huge advantage for Jesuit if they can be able to pull out just another goal on this possession. They have the ball. They can kill some clock here, try and wipe off as many ticks of the clock as they can before they try and attack the crease.
And on the other end, you've got to note Nakai Montgomery, 13 in gray. That kid can do what he wants on a lacrosse field at any moment. He is a special, special player. You'll see him playing next fall for the Duke Blue Devils at the Division I level. That's the guy to watch if ESD is going to make a run back the other way. He sets up everything. He's the quarterback of that attack for ESD.
9-8 the score. Jesuit on top by 1 with 4:58 remaining in the state championship game.
This is awesome.
What a game. Kind of got to take a breath and relax for a minute, but there's no time to relax. It's a state championship game. Sprock has it, working toward the near side numbers, wearing number 0 in Navy. Had a break there if he wanted to try and make a run to the goal. That one poked out by his defender, picked up quickly by Burnham, trying to keep it in bounds. Can't do so even though he left his feet. And it's going to go back to the Eagles with 4:27 left.
Athletic play, though, trying to dive and save it in for Burnham. But now the Rangers are able to get back on that defensive end, and they've been really good working around midfield, making it difficult for ESD to get across.
King has it. He's going to clear forward, finding Tran, who's back in the game after his injury timeout. That one knocked away from Montgomery. A beautiful hit. Decleats the Duke commit and gets the ball back for Jesuit. That one almost picked off. right in front of an open goal. They're going to finally get it forward to Pretty, and Pretty will try and get it past midfield. They will. Just in time finding Marshall Ellison. Ellison has a little bit of green to work with. And he's going to pass it back behind the net. Just about 3.5 minutes remaining in the fourth.
Ellison's been really good here in this second half.
Here he is again, winding up, pulled back the shot. That one would have been about from 7 yards out or so. Didn't play a whole lot in the first half, but he's come in the second half fresh-legged and ready to go.
He's come on and he's created a lot of opportunity for himself in ISO.
Here's Ellison straight away, backpedaling to the 40-yard line. 3 minutes left in this one. He's going to be stood up quickly, make a spin move, has some open space to work with. That one knocked out of his stick. He's going to get it back quickly, lose it again, and then he gets it back one more time. He's going to get it to Buell.
Good strength by Ellison to stay with it there.
Buell finds Ellison up top. Ellison getting it to Jackson. Here's Burnham with 4 goals on the afternoon as he will work the clock down to 2.5 minutes remaining.
Everybody keeping their eye on the clock now.
Buell has open space to work with. Buell, that one's saved by King, able to get a shin on it. That's going to be rebounded quickly by Skalniak.
This is where you got to look out now if you're Jesuit.
In the counter is where ESD has been most successful. Skalniak sending that one up and over the crossbar. Out on the end line. It'll stay with ESD with 2:13 remaining.
Good job by Smith and Johnston there to force an awkward shot from Skalniak.
Back behind the net, goal line extended now for Castleman. Montgomery has 2 goals, Skalniak has 2 goals, and the rest of the goal scorers from ESD only have 1 apiece, so anybody can score. That one stood up. Castleman blocked as soon as he received the pass just outside of the crease from point-blank range, got rejected, and the defense holds strongs for now.
ESD's trying to penetrate. Jesuit kicking him right out.
90 seconds remaining to decide a state champion. Jesuit up by 1, 9-8 the score.
ESD playing patient now. A goal will tie it. Working around.
Just then, Mo was able to get around around Johnston, but he was met quickly right in the middle of the slot. That one knocked away, picked up quickly. A whistle on the far side. It's going to be a timeout by ESD with 1:09 remaining.
I think that was Thomas Nolan who might have gotten a stick on that ball to break it up, almost getting it inside the crease where the Eagles there, but the Ranger defense trying to keep everything out wide and funnel it outside. They're doing a beautiful job of it as they have this entire second half. 1:09 to play, holding that 1-goal lead.
In the second half, 8-2 has been the score. Jesuit with the advantage since the halftime break, and now it's their turn to nurse a 1-goal lead to try and defend the state championship title that they won a year ago. This one about as storybook-esque as it could get. Being down 6-1 at halftime, scoring quick and often in the third quarter, taking the lead in the fourth, and then a chance to close it out with 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining on the clock, and your opposition with the possession.
It's pretty unreal. You kind of just got to take a step back, take a deep breath, and soak it all in right now. For Jesuit, a team that was tied at 3 with the Highland Park Scots, a formidable opponent at half yesterday. They outscored them 5-1 in the second to get to this game against ESD. The Eagles came out rip-roaring, ready to roll. We're up 6-1 at half, and now it's 9-8 with the Rangers on the cusp of winning back-to-back state titles.
It's been a year of Cinderellas, Zach. The Cubs winning the World Series. The Cavaliers winning the NBA Finals. The New England Patriots coming back from being down 28-3 in the Super Bowl. Why not Jesuit? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
That's all I got to ask.
Why not?
Why not?
The comeback. The comeback kids.
Jesuit trying to spoil ESD's perfect season and defend their state title from a year ago. Montgomery has it, working quickly on Marks. He's going to work to the right-handed side as we hit the minute mark. Under 60 seconds remaining in this state championship game. Tran has it, working far hash. That one shot up and over the goal, 47 seconds remaining. ESD still with possession. The defense having to stand strong here for Jesuit. Mo has it, looking for any kind of outlet pass. That one knocked away. Johnston could pick up the ground ball. He does, looking for a clearance. That one's going to be picked off. There's an open goal. Oh, that one missed.
Oh, what an exchange.
That one just goes
unreal.
Just off and to the right. Milliken left his post, came back, was there in position, 20 seconds left. That one knocked away. De-sticked. Skalinak couldn't do it. Jesuit has position.
They're running out 10 seconds. All they got to do is run it out.
After being down 6-1 at the halftime break, Jesuit comes back, completes the comeback, and they win their second straight THSLL state title.
Unbelievable. I've got chills right now. You couldn't have asked for a more exciting back and forth state championship game to wrap up this Texas high school lacrosse season. Unbelievable. Coming back from down the rabbit hole 6-1, it looked bleak. ESD, everything was going the Eagles' way. The Rangers persevered. They came out a revitalized and different team in that second half in the final 24 minutes, and they did it. Back-to-back state championships for the Jesuit Rangers.
Jesuit runs the gauntlet, defeats Westlake in the quarterfinals, a team that was in the semifinals a year ago. They defeat Highland Park in the semis, a team that they beat in the state championship last year, and then they defeat an undefeated ESD squad after being down 6-1 at halftime, scoring 8 out of the last 10 goals in the second half to win their second straight Texas High School Lacrosse League state championship at the D1 level. An absolutely magnificent afternoon and a crazy ending to this one as Jesuit holds on. The final score, Dallas Jesuit Rangers 9 and the ESD Eagles 8. Here from Katy, Texas, an unbelievable ending to this one.
One for the ages. They'll be talking about this for years. This has been an absolute treat to watch and be on the call for. What a comeback for the Jesuit Rangers. A tremendous season for the ESD Eagles as well. Both these teams back and forth. ESD defeated Jesuit 7-5 in the regular season, and I've always thought there's something to that. The team on the losing end, and Jesuit made the most of it. In the regular season, they dropped it to Highland Park. They beat them yesterday, got revenge in the semifinal, and today, a team that defeated them in ESD, they get revenge in the comeback fashion that they did to win yet another state championship. Congratulations to the Jesuit Rangers.
As Jesuit celebrates on the far sideline, we'll stick around and talk this one out a little bit more until the final trophy ceremony. Stephen Gould, the head coach for the Rangers, winning another state championship. They won their first one last year on May 15th, 2016. And what do you know, May 14th, not that much different here in 2017. 364 days after they won it last year, they win it again and come from behind fashion, knocking off their crosstown foe down here just outside of Houston. 9-8 the final score. Jesuit, the 2017 Division I Texas High School Lacrosse League state champions.
And these teams just play phenomenal playoff games. I mean, last year in the semifinal, ESD and Jesuit lock heads, and it's 8-7 Jesuit gets the win. So today in the state championship, 9-8, the Rangers persevered. Unbelievable.
And we talked about the North District being well represented this weekend during the semifinals and finals. 7 of the 8 teams from the North District coming down in the semifinals at least this weekend. And Jesuit has knocked out a pair of North District foes, not just this year to win their state title, but last year as well.
Last year, yeah, it was the reverse. Last year you beat ESD, and then Highland Park in the state championship. This year, state semifinal, it's Highland Park, and then ESD. But those three schools separated by just a few miles. The class of Texas high school lacrosse in the state of Texas.
A standing ovation well earned for the Jesuit Rangers, your 2017 Texas High School Lacrosse League state champions of the D1 level. They will meet the fans in the stands, the Ranger faithful being greeted and merged with the team. A beautiful moment here from Rhodes Stadium. A championship moment, to say the least, not to mention the come-behind fashion in which it was scored in. And you could go all the way down this Jesuit roster and talk about players who made an impact. It could have been Will Pyatt in the face-off X, the sophomore, controlling in the second half, getting extra possessions for the Jesuit Rangers to be able to finish that comeback. Then you have Daniel Burnham scoring 4 goals, all of them coming in the second half of action, able to propel his team to the pedestal in which they are on now. And then the defense really stood strong as well, all of them. But I have to really give credit to Luke Milliken in the net for Jesuit. As the chants start on the sideline, Milliken had a really rough first couple minutes of this one, turned it around, swallowed his pride, and really stood up some incredible scoring opportunities from the ESD Eagles. And that was really the difference in this one.
And that's why you love sports. Perseverance, the will, the want to, the desire, the hunger, the jubilation when you win. The way to pick yourself up and go attack it again the next day when you lose. Luke Milliken had a rough early going of it. So did the defense really of Jesuit on their heels. ESD was clicking on all cylinders in that first quarter, but they kept at it. Luke Milliken stepped up unbelievable saves in that second half, and it just continued all the way around with Burnham offensively, Sprock, Johnston on the defensive end, Teddy Wagner getting several clears and ground balls. Great job for Jesuit.
So both teams lining up on the near sideline to receive their championship trophies, and no surprise there. Daniel Burnham with the offensive MVP of the Texas High School Lacrosse League State Championship Tournament. Had 4 goals today, had a beautiful game yesterday afternoon against Highland Park. And the defensive MVP from Jesuit, from Aiden Johnston, another player, not surprising.
No, not at all. He was phenomenal last weekend. We got to see him a little bit against Austin Westlake. Continued that today. Just tremendous work with his length and using his stick. And then Milliken, the overall MVP of the tourney. Well deserved.
One of the best goalkeepers in the entire state of Texas. Well received the overall state tournament MVP. And he was a big reason that the Rangers are walking away on top as the ESD Eagles accept their runner-up trophy. Another great season from the Episcopal School of Dallas. They came into this one undefeated, looking for perfection, 15-0, and they were about as close as you could get. Up 6-1 at halftime, had the lead late in the fourth quarter, and it was just the resiliency from Jesuit that took it away from them.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable effort.
Rangers step forward to receive their trophy. Taking a quick Snapchat picture with the commissioner of the THSLL, Al Picasso.
And a great job by this coaching staff. Matt O'Connell, Carl Sprock, Chris Saran. Made some necessary adjustments in both games, whether it was the semifinal versus Highland Park. Really going back to the Austin Westlake game, they came out in the second half, took care of business there in the regionals. And then yesterday against HP and today against ESD, really just pulling away and showing why they were the best lacrosse team in the state of Texas in 2017.
They were indeed, as they complete the comeback and they win their second straight state championship. Your Jesuit Rangers are champions once again, 9-8 the final score over ESD. as they win the battle for Dallas and the battle for the state championship. What a weekend it has been here from Katy, Texas, as the Rangers come out on top as Division I state champions, meeting their coach Pat Kennedy to hold up the trophy and celebrate. What are some final thoughts, Wolchuk?
Well, next year, let's get the Final Four back in Dallas.
That's a big one.
Because you know probably at least half of the Final Four will be Dallas representatives, if not more. And this has been one of the best games, out of any sport, period, that you could have hoped for. You hope for competitive, close games in a state championship or a championship game of any kind. But these two teams really put it all out there. Tons of momentum swings, great job of perseverance, and just desire and will from Jesuit. An unbelievable performance, and congratulations again to the Jesuit Rangers. Congratulations to ESD on a phenomenal season, the runner-ups this year, as well as to the Woodlands and Highland Park, the other two schools that made it to the Final Four. Great year all around for the THLL.
It has been a fun weekend and a fun year of lacrosse here in the state of Texas. A huge thank you to the Katy Independent School District for hosting this state championship tournament here at beautiful Rhodes Stadium, and for all of those involved in the Game On Sports production of this state championship game. For our producer, Fred Garner, for our spotter, Maddie Sleeth, for my partner, Zach Wolchuk, I'm Kyle Yeomans. The Jesuit Rangers win it. After the comeback is complete, 9-8 the final score. The Rangers are your 2017 Texas High School Lacrosse League state champions. You've been watching Texas State Lacrosse presented by Game On Sports.